White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer on Monday seemingly walked back President Trump's claim that former President Obama wiretapped his phones during the election.
He doesn't really think that President Obama went up and tapped his phone personally. The president used the word wiretap in quotes to mean broadly surveillance and other activities during that.
Spicer argued the president had accused the Obama administration of general surveillance activities, not a literal wiretap. White House officials have yet to offer any proof to back up President Trump's claim. And on Monday, the Justice Department asked for more time to comply with the House Intelligence Committee's request for information. Here's Major Garrett.
President Trump again ignored questions about what evidence he has to back up a week-old claim on Twitter that President Obama tapped his phones at Trump Tower. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer.
And I think if you look at the president's tweet, he said very clearly, quote, wiretapping, in quotes.
That, according to Spicer, could mean any type of surveillance. Spicer said the president's tweets spoke for themselves. The first and second did put wiretapping in quotes, but the third and fourth did not. And the fourth accused Mr. Obama of a crime similar to Watergate, calling him bad and sick. Spicer said the president has not directed the Justice Department to turn over evidence requested by the House Intelligence Committee.
So what you're saying is the president doesn't have an obligation to provide any
No,
evidence?
I'm not saying that at all. There's no question that there have been an abundance of reports regarding surveillance and other type of activities that occurred during the 2016 election.
And that leads us to believe that the president's only evidence are these reports.
That leads you to believe that.
White House counselor Kellyanne Conway also said she has no evidence of wiretapping.
There are many ways to surveil each other now, unfortunately.
Do you believe
there was an article this week that talked about how you can surveil someone through their phones, through their certainly through their television sets, any number of different ways, and microwaves that turn into cameras, etc.
In another interview, Conway clarified.
I'm not Inspector Gadget. I don't believe people are using the microwave to spy on the Trump campaign. However, I'm not in the job of having evidence.
It appears no one at this White House has that job, the one of finding and providing evidence in this matter. Elaine, as you mentioned at the top, the Justice Department today called the House Intelligence Committee, didn't write anything down, called them and said we need more time so it could, quote, determine what, if any, responsive documents may exist. The House Intelligence Committee has since said do so by March 20th, or it may seek other more hardball means to extract whatever evidence, should it exist, from the Justice Department.
All right, Major, I want to play for you what Senator Lindsey Graham said late Monday about the Justice Department's non-response. Take a listen.
No, the Department of Justice has not. I'm getting very ill-tempered over this. I expect them to take some time, but Judiciary has control over the FBI, oversight. So I've said, okay, let's keep the committee process in place, regular order. So if the FBI runs over to the Intel Committee and they testify there and they don't respond to my letter, I think that's a mistake because the FBI is under our jurisdiction.
All right, so he says he's very ill-tempered over this. March 20th is the new deadline here, Major. How much pressure is there? March 20th is not that far away.
Right, not that far away, and let's translate that for our viewers. What Lindsey Graham is saying is, I sit on the Judiciary Committee, and it has jurisdiction over the FBI. What the FBI does, doesn't do, it has some influence over the FBI budget. So I'm telling you, FBI, led by Director James Comey, you might want to expedite this process. If there is no evidence, say so. Call the president out because he's the one who set this in motion. But of course, the Justice Department at the senior levels is trying to be responsive to the president, even though the president, as I said in my piece, Elaine, hasn't even told the Justice Department, oh, by the way, will you please send over that evidence? That in itself explains to you the conundrum for the Justice Department, because nobody at this White House will cite any evidence other than published reports about generalized surveillance generally in the 2016 campaign, nothing responsive to the tweets the president put out himself. So there doesn't appear to be any evidence here or anyone trying here to find it if it exists in the first place, and then no directive to the Justice Department to be responsive to the House Intelligence Committee. So there is no evidence and a lot of circular conversation. And it feels bureaucratically as if not only bureaucratically, but also politically, that the FBI is caught in kind of a vortex here. One, the president set in motion that it appears he can't back up and is trying to have the FBI, if it can, find a way out for him. But the evidentiary standard here is clear. Either you have it or you don't. And if you don't, you're going to have to pay a price.
Taking a step back for a moment, Major, the president has made unsubstantiated claims before, like his one-time proposed investigation into what he said was widespread voter fraud. Are there consequences, Major, for making claims without evidence? If so, what are those consequences? And also, is there any kind of precedent here?
Well, not just voter fraud. Remember, Elaine, voter fraud, all of that went to Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. Every act of voter fraud, according to the president, benefited Hillary Clinton. That's why she won the popular vote. That's the 1-2 orientation to that fiction that the president has established. Now, he may well be vindicated at some small level when all the votes are counted and all the analysis is done that there was some fraudulent voting, meaning people misregistered or voted in the wrong place. But he will not be proven right, either in the number or that it all went to one side of the political column, meaning all Hillary voters. So, well, you asked me what are the consequences. Well, the consequences for any president are your credibility is your most important political asset. And with that credibility, you can move votes in Congress, you can move public opinion, you can reshape legislation, you can even reshape impressions of America and its projection of power on the world stage. Every time a president, intentionally or unintentionally, degrades that credibility, some of that political clout is lost with it. And we're going to have to watch how the president's own credibility stands the test of time.